everybody.
We are back on SeaDan, and today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025, and it's one day before your birthday, Captain Chris.
Yes, it is.
How exciting.
64 and counting.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the last time we were talking with everybody, we were on the hard in Jacksonville. And that all turned out wonderful for us. So shout out to Brooks and Thad at the Huckins boatyard. They did a great job on our swim platform.
Yeah, Huckins, highly recommended company right there in Jacksonville on the Sanford on the
St. John.
St. John's River. They've been around for a long time. You can look them up. Huckins, Huckins, actually made boats, custom boats for quite a while. And now the boatyard primarily works on other people's boats. So, really good carpentry skills, really good fiberglass skills, and of course, everything else with engines and electrical. So, if you're in the area and you need work on the boat, definitely want to give them a shout out.
Absolutely. And I guess we should probably share while we were in that area, since we were there pretty much from August until we just took off in December. We did find lots of good restaurants. At the downtown area, we ate at a restaurant called River and Post, which has a sister restaurant in St. Augustine that we visited, and it was called Fort and Post because it was next to the fort there. We found a really cool area called Avondale, which was basically a street that was lined with all kinds of boutique shops and restaurants and bars. And let's see, we went to one called The Brick that we really liked a lot. And then one called Bluefish. I think it was Bluefish Restaurant.
European
And
Street
the European
Cafe.
Street Cafe. And we actually went to a hookah bar, which was a first for us, called Casbah Cafe. We didn't do hookah, but we ate the food and it was very good.
Yeah, that's that whole Avondale area, super nice, really big southern mansions and homes and cobblestone streets. And
You haven't been drinking today yet.
So there's it's a really neat historic area.
It was a fun area. We also were able to visit lots of golf courses while we were there, which is a goal of ours while we're on the loop. On the last podcast, we talked about TPC Sawgrass, which was a bucket list. We found a little course called Bent Creek Golf Course. We actually visited it a couple times. And then we went to the World of Golf and golfed two courses. One was called King and Bear, and the other one was Slammer and Squire. And I like Slammer and Squire better.
I did too.
Yeah. Nice course.
World of Golf is a great area, though. It's kind of in between. It's right off of St. Augustine, kind of inland from St. Augustine. Actually, a lot of the addresses there at the golf course are St. Augustine addresses. But yeah, the King and Bear, named after Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. And then the Slammer and Squire, two other professional golfers. I can't remember who they were, but
you neither.
Like Deb said, I think Slammer and Squire was in better shape.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. And then the other fun thing we did while we were there, we went to a Jacksonville Jaguars football game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 16th.
They played the Chargers, and that was fun experience.
And they won.
They did. And we're Bengals fans. We try to keep being Bengals fans, but it was fun being at a different stadium and experiencing all the fun things they do there. Remember that their chant is like Duval.
Duval. They're in Duval County.
Yes.
And Yeah, we grabbed really good seats in the end zone about, I don't know, 6, 7 rows up.
Mhm.
And when it was kind of hot, the sun was shining and we were not in the shade. But it was, like Deb said, it was cool to uh, experience a different stadium. And they had a really cool flyover with jets. So, yeah, that
It
was a good time.
it was fun. And then we got the boat back in the water on November 8th,
Mhm.
and, we did a couple sea trials, and that went well.
Very well. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember when we left, I guess was it St. Augustine?
Uh-huh.
Couldn't get the boat up on plane. Usually, we do have a planing haul on this boat, and at right around 15 miles or 15 miles an hour, it gets up on plane, and from 16 up to about 23 knots is kind of top end historically. And for whatever reason, could not get it on plane. So when we got up to Jacksonville, into Huckins, one of the first things we went and diagnosed was that problem. And we did a couple simple things. We replaced air filters, which were getting pretty nasty, and we put prop speed on all the metal running gear. It's basically a coating. They grind down all the metal to bare metal, and then they apply this prop speed to it. So the shafts, the propellers, the rudders, um, the what do you call the trim tabs? Anything is metal down there. You put this stuff on it, and it's super slick. Nothing sticks to it. Um, so took it out for the
Sea
sea trial, and she got right up on plane, 23, 24 knots. So very excited about that. And then coming down here, we also were able to get it up on plane. So I think we've solved that little problem.
Yeah, that's great. So we ended up going home for Thanksgiving and took a little short vacation to Punta Cana with some friends, and then got back here to Jacksonville, like, December 9th, I think.
Yeah, we had a heck of a time getting to Punta Cana though. Out of Cincinnati, the timing was pretty bad. I blame American for a lot of it, although I guess they're trying to keep us safe. But we were delayed the first day because of equipment. There wasn't a flight. There wasn't a plane that arrived to take us on down to Charlotte, was the original plan. And so they moved us a day. And then we got a bunch of snow in Cincinnati. Moved us another day. Blah blah blah. So I'm sorry, I didn't get to do it. So we were 3 days late, almost 4 days late, getting down to Punta Cana. We had a great time with our friends down there,
Yes, we
and
did.
then we flew straight back to Jacksonville. We didn't go back to Cincinnati.
And while we were in Jacksonville, Monday night, we started talking. Originally, our plan was to take the side trip down the St. Johns River once we got back after the holidays in January. But when we looked at the weather, we had great weather forecasts, and we were kind of getting that itch again to move the house. So we decided to go ahead and start our side trip to St. Johns
Mm-hmm.
River. So we left on Thursday, December 11th. Um, and our goal was to get to a free dock, a restaurant that had a free dock called Corky Bells right outside of Palatka.
Yeah, which was cool. Again, we're doing the loop a little differently than a lot of folks who stay pretty much to the plan, and side trips like this one, not a lot of people take it, but wow, I'm so glad we did. I mean, the St. John River is gorgeous. It's just, we got so many great videos and pictures that we'll show you. Nice average depth of probably 18 feet. Just meandered through swamps, and we saw manatees galore and alligators and um,
I think this has been my favorite journey since we've started the loop, has been this past 4 days
yeah,
adventure coming down. So
very nice. And a lot of places you can anchor. So you can take your time coming down, and I think going back, we will take our time. We anchored 3 or 4 nights.
We anchored twice. We stayed at the free dock,
Oh,
and
that's right.
then from there we crossed over Lake George,
Hmm.
which was awesome. I mean, the
Huge
weather every day was beautiful.
crystal glass.
No winds, the water was like glass. Lake George, I would say it's a large body of water, probably 5 miles wide, and I would say it was at least 10 miles long.
Hmm.
But the cool thing was you went straight through it. They had the channel markers, so you could just put it on autopilot and you'd hit every set of channel markers right through the middle. So I think you went down below and worked on a couple boat projects. I stood up on the bridge and just made sure nothing got in front of us and did my exercises while we went, and it was great. A great cruise.
Hmm.
I even got to sit up on the bow for half hour, 45 minutes and just enjoyed it. It was beautiful.
Hmm.
And then we pulled into after just south of Lake George, we stopped at an anchorage called Morrison Island.
Hmm.
Remember that first anchorage that we were going to stop out was pretty sketchy, like kind of scary, remote. We weren't real comfortable. So we went another mile and a half and found Morrison Island, and it was really nice.
Yeah, as soon as we pulled in there, we dropped anchor. We're in about 9 feet of water. Manatees came over to the boat right off the bat. I don't know what they were looking for, but um, just fun to see the wildlife there.
Yeah. And then the next morning, we got up to another beautiful day and decided to go to Blue Springs,
Hmm.
Anchorage. And Blue Springs is known for all the manatees that congregate there in the winter, also. So we were very excited to get there. It was just a short 4.5 hour day cruise to get from Morrison Island to the Blue Springs Anchorage. And when we pulled in, a manatee just followed us back into the anchorage. We were the only boat there. We dropped anchor in probably what, 10 feet of water, I would
Hmm.
say. And actually, I called my son Nick on FaceTime to show him how cool this anchorage was. I mean, it was almost like we stepped into a scene of Tarzan,
Jurassic Park. We were
Jurassic
waiting.
Park.
We were waiting for velociraptors and Tyrannosaurus rexes to attack the boat. Um, but you'll see on some of the pictures, it's remote as remote can be. I was worried that my next kidney stone was going to show up when I was in the middle of nowhere, but it didn't.
But while I was FaceTiming with Nick, we looked onto the shore and we saw our first alligator, which was the goal on this trip because they say the St. Johns River is just full of alligators. So we saw our first alligator.
It was pretty cool.
That is cool. So
Yeah.
cool. And then Sunday morning, we got up, and our last leg of our journey was to get to the downtown Sanford Marina, which was only a really short 2.5 hour cruise.
Hmm.
Um, and the reason we were trying to get there Sunday was the winds were supposed to really pick up,
And they did.
and they did. Actually, as soon as we pulled into the dock, maybe 2 hours later, the winds hit. But that trip going between there was great. We found another anchorage called Butcher's Bend that we want to hit
On the way
on the
back.
way back. It's only about 45 minutes from the marina. And if we get tired of being in our slip, that's a real quick anchorage that we can go spend a weekend if we would like to, too. So that's cool.
And to kind of back up to Blue Springs, that area is accessible by car. I mean, it's actually a park where the spring, which is, I don't know. I mean, the springs are from underwater, so the water's warm. That's why the manatees hang out there, and they're crystal clear. The water's bathtub clear. I mean, so the manatees hang out there, and so either from the water side, you can paddleboard or canoe. They don't like you getting in there with motorized vehicles because it could hurt the manatee. Um,
And it's closed off right now for the winter months. They don't want watercraft back in there because it's full of
yeah, there's
manatees.
so many manatees that you really um, you disturb them. I mean, you can almost walk from one side of the spring to the other on the backs of manatees. There's that many, but a lot of people come by car. There's observation decks and walkways, so you can really interact. A lot of cool things to do. So if you're in that area, which is I guess a little bit south, but not too far from Titusville, was it?
It's
Or St.
west
Augustine,
west of yeah,
Titusville.
west of Titus.
So if you're in that area, it could be a great little stop if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, do you wanna talk a little bit about the marina that we're in now?
Yeah, we love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, very nice people. I mean, yeah, so we're in the Sanford Municipal or City Marina, lock gates,
Floating dock,
concrete floating docks. And as soon as we rolled in, the two guys, uh, what are their names?
Luke and Cody.
Luke and Cody met us, pulled right in, and just right off the bat became great friends. Luke has actually been here at the marina for 50 years, I
50
think,
years, dock
and he
pass.
actually wrote a book that we got. This is the book he wrote that we're reading, just about his adventures being a captain and being around boats his whole life. Some interesting stories in there. But yeah, we pulled in and got the electricity and the water hooked up. Met a neighbor who's been here for 5 years. Came out, him and his wife and his little dog Bodie.
Bodie.
And so just right off the bat, we just loved it here. And it's a great little town, Sanford, very historic, cobblestone streets again, microbreweries and restaurants and theaters, arts and crafts, antique stores.
And the cool thing, it has a river walk too that goes, what'd they say, like 17
17 miles. It was
miles?
all the way around Monroe Lake, right?
Uh-huh, Lake Monroe.
Lake Monroe. It's a 17-mile uh bike trail or walking trail.
Concrete paved, gorgeous.
Gorgeous. So, and actually, there's quite a few places along the way there. So, yesterday, Deb and I hopped on our e-bikes and rode 4 miles up that path to the zoo. You can actually get right to the zoo, and it was a pretty cool little zoo.
It was a cool little zoo.
I mean, it was
Lot of
little.
fun.
I mean, it's not. You certainly we're used to Cincinnati Zoo, which is one of the nicest in the country, but had a really, really good reptile exhibit, which makes sense, right? This is reptile heaven down here with all the alligators and snakes
Lots
and
of snakes.
lots of snakes. But it had a really cool water play park for the kids, playgrounds. Um, yeah, it was, it's a 2 hour kind of day, not real long. So we spent a couple hours there. It was like $25 a person,
Yeah, 22, something like that,
22 person. We finished that and then jumped back on our bikes and we were ready for a beer. So we found the closest microbrewery.
which was Deviant Wolf. Is that right?
Yep.
Deviant Wolf Brewery.
Yep.
Sat next to a guy that gave us all kinds of information on what to do in Sanford. And then from there, we went like half a mile and found the Celery City Brewery.
Yeah, evidently celery was the big crop that was exported from this area over the years. So the nickname of the city is Celery City. And again, microbrews named after that and restaurants. They converted the old fire station and the old
Jailhouse.
jailhouse, which are right next to each other on the street, all brick. Just really beautiful brick and wood, and just great places to hang out and have a beer and or dinner, whatever you're into. But really like those two areas.
Yeah. And we're going to be here, I'm thinking, through January and probably the month of February till it starts warming up and we can head up the East Coast. But what a great place to stay for a couple months. It's very close. We have an Allegiant airport that's not even 10 miles from here. So we'll be able to scoot back and forth when we need to. And we're looking forward to our time here.
Yeah, well, it was and just to finish kind of the week, we were the wind that rolled in here. I mean, we were talking sustained 18-mile-an-hour winds with gusts in the
And
30s.
it was coming from the north.
So that night we were really, it was like, sleeping in a washing machine, but we love that. That doesn't bother me a bit. I mean, it puts me to sleep actually. So, but the next day was windy and kind of chilly. So, there was kind of chore day. I got things done on the boat, did laundry.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then we did our e-bike adventures, and we did find there's a famous German restaurant here called
Hollerbacks.
Hollerbacks. And we went in there and you had a Reuben sandwich that was really good.
I
So
mean, very authentic German.
yeah.
Hollerbachs, Hollerbachs. They have a market, a grocery store, a German grocery store where you could buy some really unique, sauerkrauts and restaurant or they have a bakery in there, some German desserts. Nice place to go visit. We're definitely gonna head back there a few times.
So I think today we're doing more laundry and prepping to head home for Christmas and New Year's. And then we'll be back down here January 4th, ready to explore in the nice warm Florida weather.
Yeah, we got what, a 6 o'clock flight, 6:30 flight.
So, yeah, 6:30.
So we'll jump on that flight, head home, see the kiddos. Look forward to spending the holidays and New Year's, and maybe do a little skiing up there with my grandson Leon. But that's going to be a good trip back. And then any of you who are going to be in the area in January, February, look us up. I mean, we're about 40 minutes from Disneyland and Universal. Legoland's a little further, but some great ideas on how to check those parks out, which we certainly plan to do if we can get the kids to come down for a week or so stay
Yep.
while we're here. So appreciate you tuning in again. We enjoy keeping this up to date, and let us know if you have any questions.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everybody.
holidays, guys.